How's it going there, everybody? Thanks for joining me on an early one this Friday. A few things I wanted to cover in this one. I want to talk a little bit about that supposed Q Twitter account that I did a video on last night. I want to clear up a couple things that I had mistaken. And then there's a few other things that we're going to discuss later in this video. But first of all, let's talk about that Q Twitter page. And of course, just for a quick recap, Q, in his very last post on December, the last one that we have about 4 days ago now, he said Twitter, and in brackets he put kill rogue. Now, this then linked us to this Twitter account where we had kill rogue. Now, where I got wrong, and I'm not going to recap the video I did last night, you can watch it real quick. And what I got wrong was that this right here, I didn't think you could change this, the account name. I didn't think you could change this little at and then whatever it was, but you can. So that changes things a little bit. I had that wrong, but still odd, right? Still odd that Q would link this to the Twitter page and then we'd come up here. And it's cool now. Almost 5,000 followers on that one. This picture actually changed from last night, but there's still some interesting connections. The join date, the things that have been tweeted weeks ago even. And some people are saying and calling me a dick, essentially, for like outing this Twitter page. Like, oh, you're outing the identity or anything like that. There's nothing identity-wise that's being outed in showing this Twitter page, right? There's nobody's getting shown. So I don't know. If you see any trolls trying to talk shit like things are being outed, it's not. But anyway, I just wanted to clear that up. So a couple things that I had mistaken. But for some real juicy news for the morning, we're going to go here to Sean McLaughlin's Twitter of looks like CBS 5 in Arizona. And he's saying a developing story. The Arizona National Guard, the 850th Battalion, is deploying tomorrow for 9 months at GITMO. And he's saying on the Friday between Christmas and New Year's, this is a classic PR dumper. That's the way the military works, right? It's kind of odd that a battalion is deploying to GITMO during this time of year. But of course, if you've been following the storm, there's been a lot of flights going to GITMO. And we even have a couple more odd, here we go, a couple more odd flights, one leaving and one going to GITMO that were found today. Now, not only this, but I was sent a email message last night from somebody about the SKYKING messages, okay? And if you're not familiar with the SKYKING messages, I'll go over them really quickly here. I want to make this larger so you can see. But basically, the SKYKING messages are coded radio messages that are broadcast by the military. And during times of tension or unusual activity, SKYKING messages broadcast more often. Now, they're coded. We don't know what they mean, but they basically mean that something's going on behind the scenes somewhere, right? So a lot of people that are familiar with ham radio will listen for SKYKING messages, and basically that's just letting us know that something's going on somewhere. Now, I get emails from some people that watch the SKYKING messages. Thank you, all of you that help out. And this guy sent me a message, and he was tracking it. He said on December 28th, normal messages, he says, are 30 alphanumeric characters, which is code, right? We had 2 transmissions on the 28th, which was yesterday. One transmission was 109 characters. That's big. That's a big one. And then today we had 2 30-character transmissions and then 2 over 50-character transmissions. So he told me in this email, this would lead him to believe that lots of activity will be taking place tomorrow, and look for flight departures between 8 a.m. and noon. Military likes to get things done early, he says. So with SKYKING messages being broadcast more heavily and more flights coming and going to GITMO, more news on GITMO. We actually have National Guard being deployed there. So that's just, again, a lot of dots connecting as to the bad actors could very well be in GITMO, and a lot more could very well be going if we're having a National Guard battalion being activated there. Okay, so keep these things in mind, guys. And then the last few things I want to discuss. So Trump had a news meeting, kind of an impromptu news meeting with a New York Times journalist where he answered some questions. He was talking about North Korea and China, how China was kind of caught red-handed by U.S. spy satellites selling oil to North Korea. China denied it, and discussing a few other things. Now, of course, one of the things he discussed was potential war. We have this story that I saw going around. I think it might be a little fear-porny, but it's just a good thing to keep in mind. An intelligence insider warns of imminent war with North Korea within 3 months. And China, this story, not sure if you saw it, but they're actually planning refugee camps along the border with North Korea, expecting something to happen there. So that's one thing that was discussed in this interview. And I've also heard, and it's been said by some people, that this, quote, war with North Korea, which I wouldn't worry about. I wouldn't worry about any nuclear war. There's a lot of people and groups preventing that. But some have said that this war with North Korea could be a great way to disclose some previously undisclosed or unacknowledged secret weapon platforms, right? Whether it's electromagnetic weaponry or some kind of weapons platforms, anti-gravity propulsion platforms, something Black Project-wise could be disclosed, and this would be a very convenient way to disclose that, right? So there's a point I want to make. But the other point is that during this interview, Donald Trump gave a pretty interesting shout out, pretty interesting message. And the best place I could find it was on Jack Posobiec's Twitter. And President Trump today, Posobiec reports, whatever happened to Podesta? They closed their firm, they left in disgrace, the whole thing, and now you never hear of anything, right? Trump actually said that during this impromptu interview with the New York Times yesterday. So interesting. Some thinly veiled shots he's throwing out there, just kind of some head-scratching questions he's putting into the public domain. Whatever happened to Podesta? I wonder if they are at Guantanamo Bay, right? As Liz Crokin tweeted, I hope, they probably don't serve pizza at Guantanamo Bay. And of course, here's this story that we're keeping an eye on today. The State Department will release a few thousand of Huma Abedin's work emails found on pervert husband Anthony Weiner's laptop tomorrow after court battle. So Judicial Watch sued for the materials. The State Department said in September they expect to have them released by year's end. So when they say year's end, they really mean year's end, but still surprised that they actually did it, right? So who knows if there's some more going on to this release that we're not necessarily seeing. Somebody did comment redacted. Exactly, down here it says government lawyers had to examine the files for classified material that the public can't see. And of course, there's a whole shitload of stuff on Weiner's laptop that we know probably aren't going to make it to the public. But with this happening, could very well be just the opening of the floodgates to the rest of what's on Weiner's laptop. Let's hope that's very well the case. If that doesn't happen, that we know we're being bullshitted, right? That's the thing about, now those are the ending comments I want to make here. It's the thing about disclosure. That's the thing about finding the truth as to what's going on, as to whatever it is, whether it's pedogate or secret space programs or the truth of UFOs or what's going on with the murdered doctors in the healthcare system. You don't need to wait for anybody else to tell you what the truth is, right? There's so much information out there that it's easily searchable. And full disclosure is an individual task. It's never going to come from the higher ups. And all the truth is already out there for everybody to find if you so choose to and make an effort to find it. So that's an easy way we know we're being bullshitted by any disclosures coming out, is you educate yourself on the full truth of the matter, and as much as you can, and then when you see this stuff, then it becomes easier to know, I should say, if you're getting some kind of sanitized or managed disclosure, or if you're actually getting people trying to get as much of the truth as they can out there. So there you go, guys. That's the short update for this Friday morning. It's pretty early, but I'll be back with another live feed in a little bit here and a few more videos, actually a couple more whiteboard videos over the next few days. So got some good things coming for you guys after my couple day break that I had. So anyway, have a good Friday. I'll be seeing you and you'll be seeing me again very shortly.